What's up, everybody? And this is going to be episode 2. The first episode that I show myself. I just wanted to say hello. I am Eric from Dumpling House Entertainment. I hope you guys are doing amazing right now. So we're here, and we're going to give you guys some questions and some answers about the deep, dark world of social media. Social media is an interesting place. You meet a lot of random new people. You see a lot of crazy things. You get burnt a lot. A lot of people flake out on you. It's like a magic world that nobody believes about, kind of. And I know when I first got into this, I didn't believe about it either, to be honest with you. I seen the internet for a long time, but I didn't know how to monetize it, or I didn't know that you could even make money off of it. I was an old-fashioned believer that the internet didn't make money. Did that sure change? I'm gonna tell you that right now. Now I'm one of those people that tell my kids, hey, learn social media. Hey, make videos. Hey, practice for when you get older. Because I've just seen such an abundance of people on the internet. I see it being used more and more nowadays. I kind of believe that the internet has replaced TV. In the old days, they made televisions to brainwash people and use it as a device to control you, basically, to keep you at home. And nowadays, they realize that nobody's really watching TV anymore, and they now all have this little tiny thing inside of their pocket, and they can just zone out on it the whole time and be mesmerized and listen and follow directions and orders. It's very unique, to be honest with you. But I definitely believe that phones replaced the internet. Sorry about that. Replaced TV. So when I got into this, it kind of was a joke. Started inside of Thailand, inside of a small little place called Koh Samui, and my 4-year-old daughter came up to me and said, "Hey, there's this application, and this application we can do like daddy-daughter dances and just mess around." And she was like, I was like, "Well, what's it called?" I thought she was gonna say YouTube or something, obviously. And she was like, TikTok, and I was like, "What? TikTok? What's a TikTok?" And so we downloaded it, of course, and we were like dancing around and looking around on it, and I noticed it was a bunch of short form videos and people just being weird. I mean, I'd never seen anything like it. I never used the internet like that. I remember MySpace, and I remember uploading music and art pictures. And then I used Facebook. Like when Facebook originally came out, we used it for like Farmville. I mean, if you weren't playing Farmville on Facebook, what were you even doing, to be honest with you? And TikTok was a short form dancing, funny. It was different for me. I didn't understand. And then one view turned into 500 views, and 500 views turned into 1,000, 1,000 turned into 10,000, 10,000 turned into 100,000. And I was like, whoa, this is like unique. How is this possible that just dancing with a 4-year-old girl gets so many views and likes, and people are following and commenting, and everyone's so nice, and wow, look at this. So we did that for a while, and it was fun. And I didn't exactly know what I was going to do with it, but I realized that it could grow really quick. And I realized that all the videos were different, that you didn't know what was going to hit, what wasn't going to hit. You just kind of had to take a chance. And so I did it with her for a few more months, and I realized that wow, we already got 10,000 people following us, and what is going on? It wasn't a lot, but it was just daddy-daughter stuff. And so I was like, well, I wonder if I did this with an adult. What would happen if I brought my wife into this and showed her what TikTok was, and seeing if we could do these dances together, and seeing if we could do more of an adult version of TikTok. And so I brought it up to her and said, hey, look, there's an app, and this is kind of crazy, but I've been doing my research, and this TikTok thing seems to be pretty popular, and people are making money on just making videos, basically. And so she was like, yeah, well, what is it? And I was like, well, it's a short form video application that you download on your phone, you dance to, and upload it right there. And that doesn't take a lot of editing skills. Don't got to be a tech wizard to do it. You just kind of got to be yourself. And I said, we already make people laugh, and we already have fun doing what we're doing, and let's try it. So we started off doing a bunch of couples comedies and just pranks on each other, jokes with each other, or doing weird faces. And that worked out pretty well. I remember one of her first names on there was so funny. It was Sparkly Glitter Farts, and that shit had me rolling for so long, to be honest with you. but it was fun. We got to learn it and realize that like we could just be funny and be ourselves and get views, and people loved it. And we would go on live and there was thousands of people there talking and cheering and tipping. And we didn't really start thinking about monetizing social media until later. Later on, we started thinking, well, there's all these people here and we're getting paid to dance and we're getting paid for this and we're getting paid for that. And like, how else can we monetize social media? And at this time, it was COVID. It was 2020, and the world was kind of upside down in a handbasket. Nobody was working. There wasn't a lot of money out. I just closed my business down because I couldn't really do it too much anymore. And I was thinking about, well, what am I going to do? I was like, I want residual money. I want sleep money. I want that money that I can roll over every morning and have just flowing into my bank account where, I called it sleep money at the time. Did I know that when I started doing social media, I was never going to sleep ever again? Because like 24 hours a day, constantly, all the time. But at that time, I was like, yeah, I want to make something called sleep money. I could just wake up in the morning time and boom, it's there. And so I started researching and I started they were like, okay, we'll do stocks and bonds. Okay, well, I tried that for a while and it didn't really work out so well. I mean, it did, but it didn't work out as fast as I wanted. And then they were like, yeah, do Bitcoins and do cryptocurrencies and stuff like that. And I did that here and there. And I didn't understand it so much and made some money, but it wasn't as fast also. And I don't know, it was okay, but it didn't make a lot of sense to me at the time. I'm more of a physical kind of guy. I got to hold something, touch something. The whole crypto digital currency things, I enjoy the idea of it, but it's just hard for me. And then they were like, okay, we'll buy houses and apartment complexes and land and property and rent it out and do this and do that. And, I tried everything that I could. And then one day I just started thinking, I was like, okay, well, YouTube is a social media site that small and big content creators create videos explaining what things do basically and get paid for it. Well, those videos stay there forever. So that's why there's so many views on it. I started thinking, okay, so what makes a residual income? And that's really what I was curious about. Like, what was the residual income aspect of it? And where was the residual income going to come from? Because that's what I wanted. I had percents of businesses my whole life, and I've had businesses since I was 18 years old. And that's really all I've been doing. So like residual income is a big thing for me. And I did like network marketing and like pyramid schemes and selling things. And I had like all sorts of small businesses when I was younger. I even remember selling Kirby vacuums at one time. They were like a $10,000 vacuum that I went and knocked door to door on people's houses. It was like, hey, you want a Kirby vacuum? This will suck a golf ball right up all the way through the tube, and it was just crazy. But the residual income came in. I was like, yeah, I really want to figure out what a residual income and how to get this residual income. And everything just wasn't doing it for me until it clicked in my head one day. YouTube. I was like, wow, YouTube's interesting. Like, why didn't I ever think of this before? Like the things that get residual income are music. Well, I'm not really a musician. I could rap a little bit, but I'm not like really going to make money with it. It's just not a thing for me. And then, okay, well, movies. Well, I could make movies maybe. I did go to school for cinematography, but this was afterwards. I'll get into that later. And so it was like, well, I'm not an actor, so that's probably not going to happen either. Well, what else gets it? P-stars. Whoa, yeah. Definitely. Porn stars, definitely. Okay, well, that's interesting. Well, I'm not really like porn star material though, so I don't know, And then I started thinking, okay, well, social media. Like, social media is a type of video. It's a type of, thing, just like all these advertisements and commercials and TV. And so, okay, well, this is interesting. Maybe I got something going on here. And I started looking into social media and digging into everything and figuring out how much everything pays. And YouTube paid like 40 cents for 1,000 views or something like that once you got it all monetized. And Facebook wasn't paying back then. Not really. And then Instagram wasn't paying back then. And okay, well, looked up TikTok and okay, well, TikTok pays. And the RPMs on the TikTok change per views and per video and stuff like that. I noticed some of them are like 75 cents, some are 15 cents. I don't know how they calculate all that yet. Even till this day, I'm still not sure how they calculate that. And I was like, okay, well, I can try TikTok, I can try this, and I can try that. And then I I found like Pornhub, and Pornhub paid like 80 cents per 1,000 views. That was interesting. I was really blown away by that. I was like, wow, they're paying like the most. No wonder people are on here. And then I heard of something called OnlyFans, and OnlyFans was a unique site that was kind of like an adult site where you could do comedy and you could do laughter stuff and you could do like shows and you could do adult content. You could do whatever you wanted on there, really. It was just kind of a popping off, and people were talking about it a little bit more in 2020. I was like, okay, well, that's interesting. So I started looking into that, how it was subscription based, and I did some businesses before where we had subscriptions, and I know subscriptions are king. And when I realized and I put it all together, and I was like, subscription based, huh? I was like, this is what we're talking about. I was like, subscription based is residual income, and residual income is what I'm looking for. And when I started thinking that all the videos that stay on social media were residual income, because they're videos that just sit on there, and sometimes they go viral, sometimes they don't, sometimes they pick up later. It just depends on if you know what you're doing with the algorithm. And so, okay, look, we got some residual income now. We got some ideas for some residual income now. How do we put it together? What do you do? How do you do this? And man, I don't know how many nights I stayed up just thinking about residual income. That was like the biggest thing on my head. I was like, sleep money's going to be a thing. And when I finally figured it out, I started doing YouTube. Well, YouTube was really hard to figure out, I'm not going to lie. And I kind of put YouTube aside, actually, and I was like, okay, well, I'll try doing this later, and start doing TikTok. And TikTok was really interesting. We would get our accounts up to 20, 30, 40, $50,000, and it was just like 20, 30, 40, 50,000 followers. And then we would get banned. Okay, well, we'll start again. We'll do another one, 20, 30, 40, 50, $60,000 or followers, sorry, not dollars. It would get banned. Well, what are we doing wrong? Well, maybe we're showing too much skin. Maybe they don't like the background. Maybe I was a blacksmith for a while and I was making swords and weapons and knives and skis. And every time I showed a knife, they would delete my account. Oh, dangerous act. And so, and then, oh, you're showing too much body or too much skin. Like, you're in a bathing suit at the beach. What are you supposed to do? Like, have grandma clothes on and wear a cashmere sweater? No, we're trying to like be at the beach. So it was too exposed, adult nudity, blah 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 blah. 20 accounts later, 30 accounts later, we finally realized this is what we can do. We don't get banned no more. Wow, we figured out how to do it. And finally we kind of learned the algorithm. And at this point, 100,000 followers later, TikTok reached out and they were like, hey, look, there's an advertising program going on and we'd love you to be a part of it. We were like, yeah, that's really cool. Thank you very much. So we were starting to monetize our TikTok. And then I was like, okay, well, there's got to be other platforms out there. There's got to be other things. I was like, we can't just focus on one. Don't put all your Easter eggs in one basket, right? I was like, well, we do social media, so we need to do all social media: Instagram, Facebook, X, Clapper. There was no Clapper at that point. There was no Xiaohongshu at that point. Telegram, WhatsApp, WeChat, Line, all of them, QQ, whatever we could think of. We need to get on it. We need to do. But we hadn't really dipped ourselves in the adult entertainment pool yet. That didn't come. That came right around the corner, actually. And so if you guys are interested to hear about more the adult entertainment side and how we got into that, because that plays into this, like this, comment on this, ask me some questions, say hello, give me a follow. This is my second recording. I don't know if anybody's listening to this. I don't know if anybody can hear this. I don't even know if anybody sees this channel. I'm not even sure if Spotify for Creators pushes out to other people or if I need to put this on all my social media yet. I'm still learning. So if you just happen to come by this video, say hello, give me a follow. I'm just trying to learn here to give you guys some awesome content. That's kind of how I got into social media. That was my mindset. That was what we were about. That's my why. Well, that's my what. My why is a little bit deeper than that. I have a saying in business that you need a why, what, and a when, and a where. And those four things make it very important to run a successful business. And so that was my what, and that residual income and that monetization and those subscriptions and being able to wake up with sleep money, that was a dream for me. And so I'm living that dream right now. And I want to share this story with you guys. I want to share our story with you guys. It's very unique. Everyone says I should write a book. So here's my book for right now until I write that memoir. This is Eric from Dumpling House Entertainment. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Next show is going to be about how we started doing OnlyFans and adult entertainment and how it went from there and how we kept progressing with social media. So if you guys are interested, stay tuned. Give me a follow. Until tomorrow. See you guys soon.